everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for this week's fiasco, I'm going to be talking to you guys about what to expect during a C-section procedure. I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about what I experienced during my C-section procedure, and I'm going to be giving you guys tips as well as items that are must-haves when it comes to speeding along the recovery process after you get your C-section procedure, okay? So, let's get this show on the road now, shall we? Okay. Alright, so basically, what is a C-section? A C-section, or otherwise known as a cesarean, is basically a cut that they're going to be making in your lower abdomen, usually right above the pubic line, in order to kind of bring your baby out via your uterus and your stomach, okay? You don't give birth vaginally. The doctor does a procedure to, like I said, cut your stomach, cut your uterus, and bring the baby out that way, okay? It's a lot more common than you think, okay? 32% of women will get C-sections, okay? That's about 1/3 of pregnancies that result in getting C-sections, okay? So if you guys are being told that in the delivery room, like, you guys are gonna have to get a C-section or like whatever it is, blah, 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 don't think that you're alone, okay? A lot of women will end up getting C-sections or cesareans, including myself, okay? Because I know I was pretty shocked when the doctor came in and she's just like, you're gonna have to get a C-section. I was just like, excuse me? And this was like after 35 hours of labor, okay? I'm just like, you want me to what now? I was like, you had me contracting and pushing for 35 hours and now you telling me you want to cut me open? And she's just like, yeah, basically. And I was like, all right then, cut me open. All right, because like I said, it's going to happen in 1 in 3 pregnancies, well, 1/3 of pregnancies, which I guess is the same thing. But either way, don't feel so alone and don't feel scared if they tell you that you're going to end up getting a C-section. It's not as bad as you think, okay? So I have the whole procedure basically written down, and I'm going to basically kind of read it to you because I'm not that smart and I'm not that good at memorizing things, okay? But I also wanted to give you guys the most updated and the most accurate information that I could possibly find, okay? So this is a general idea of how a C-section procedure will go. However, it usually differs when, you know, you go into like certain hospitals here and there. So if you guys are concerned about it, I would definitely talk to your doctor, okay, and ask them like, hey, what's your hospital's procedure about C-sections? What's gonna happen? La 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 la, because I know I didn't ask, so I was just completely shocked and bewildered when everything was happening. So I really had no idea, because like every other woman, I went in thinking I'm just gonna give a vaginal birth and this is gonna be fine and this is gonna be all good. I was completely shocked when they said I had to have a C-section, okay? So even if you don't think that you have to get a C-section, definitely just ask them just to be well informed. And even if you had a vaginal birth beforehand, each pregnancy is different. You can always get a C-section for your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever child, okay? Like, it can always happen. So if you want to, and I definitely recommend it, talk to your doctor about, okay, about their own procedures. But like I said, this is a sort of generalized, like, kind of how most hospitals do it, all right? So the procedure usually lasts anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes. Mine lasted about 45 minutes, okay? It was a very, 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 very quick thing. I was actually shocked at how quick it went because, you know, when I'm sitting in the delivery room and I'm contracting and I'm pushing, right? Like, literally, like, I feel my amniotic fluid gushing out my vaginal canal here for 30 plus hours. I was completely shocked at how fast a C-section goes, all right? So like I said, average 40 to 50 minutes, could be shorter, could be longer. It just kind of depends, all right? They first usually start out by coming in, yeah, and they're gonna shave your vagina. Like, you know, they have like this little thing, they're just gonna shave it. They usually just shave the top part, so your lady bits are gonna look crazy, okay? Like, my lady bits legitimately looked like she just shaved the top of it and then there's just hair everywhere else, so it was definitely looking a little crazy. But obviously they have to shave it because that's where they're going to make the incision, is right above the pubic line, all right? Next, what they're going to do is they'll usually bring you into the procedure room, okay? They get you prepped, they get everything ready. don't be alarmed at how many doctors are usually in there. Now, for me, I gave birth during the COVID-19 pandemic, so I don't know if it was abnormal as to how many people were in there or not, but I had about like 4 or 5 doctors that were in there. All of them seemed to have like a specific job that they were doing, but excuse me, I had a lady who then basically inserted something. It's sort of like an epidural. She called it a spinal tap or a spinal block. And what it is it's this sort of like anesthesia that they put into your spine, and it's going to completely numb everything from like your core down, okay? Now, because they don't want you to feel the slicing. I know it sounds harsh, okay, but trust me, it's really not that bad. They don't want you to feel the slicing. They don't want you to feel the pinching and the sharp pains. So they're going to numb it as much as you can. They're going to be slapping on your legs, asking, do you feel that? Do you feel that? Be honest, okay? Because I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to feel the whole slice, okay? So be honest, all right? Like, yes, I feel it, or no, I don't feel it, okay? And the only thing you guys should technically feel afterward is just sort of like a pressure, right? Like you can tell that somebody's touching you, but you necessarily won't feel the sensation, okay? My doctor actually ran her nails along my legs, asking if I felt it. I did feel the pressure of her nails, but I didn't feel like the actual grittiness of her nail. So that's how they know that you're basically all good to go, okay? So you will be awake for the whole thing, all right? You're gonna be awake. Trust me, it's not that bad. Now, I don't know why it was that way for me, but I was actually borderline falling asleep. And I think it was honestly because I had been up for 30 plus hours before I had my C-section. I was so tired. And I really don't know if it was because of the spinal block or not, but I was like borderline falling asleep, and I could feel them kind of moving my insides around. It was not that scary. One thing I will say is I also did feel my heart kind of beating through my chest, and focusing on that kind of did give me anxiety a little bit, because I don't know why my heartbeat was so loud. I could also hear it on the monitor, but the doctor over here was talking to me, basically kind of like trying to get my mind off of it, because like I said, I gave birth during a pandemic, so that meant that my hubby was not allowed to be in the room with me. Unfortunately, they gave me a phone to hold to my face to FaceTime with him while he sat in the room outside, okay, because they were trying to limit the amount of people that were in the room. But the doctor would talk to me and trying to like get my mind off of it. He ended up talking to me about, you know, Korean food, because your girl Korean, so we were talking about kimchi and all that stuff. And it did help a lot, okay? So if you guys feel anxious or whatever, definitely start talking to them, because you don't want your heart rate to like go all crazy and stuff. Now, I know for me, it was definitely nerve-wracking to hear my heart so loud like that and just feel it like that. So I was very thankful that, you know, that doctor definitely took matters into his own hands and kind of like really got my mind off of it, okay? They also will put a catheter, okay, into your urethra, because you're gonna pee a lot, obviously. They don't want you peeing all over the table, so there's gonna be a tube that gets inserted way up there, so that you can just kind of pee at your leisure without making a mess and everything, okay? And before they, you know, obviously cut you and make that incision, they will put a drape that kind of like lines up with like your abdomen here, so that you don't see yourself being cut open. Now, you can do something called a gentle C-section, where there will be a clear drape and you can see your baby emerging. If you don't want to see yourself getting cut, you can ask them for some sort of mirror to kind of like be set up so you can kind of see it. But like I said, I don't know your hospital's procedure, so definitely talk to them about that. I know my hospital did offer the clear drape, but I don't want to see that. I was like, look, you can show me my baby afterward, okay? But I don't need to see all, I don't need to see all of that. Just like, no, thank you, okay? Pass. So I was like, no, put that big old blue drape up, okay? I'm really not trying to see that. So, that'll definitely be an option if you guys want to do a gentle C-section, okay? Now, in a worst case scenario, you will do something called an emergency C-section, okay? Now, that's in emergency situations, basically, where there's no time to give you the, spinal block or anything like that. They don't have time to prep you for any of that. So they gonna knock you out. Like, they gonna clunk you out, okay? Like, you gonna be asleep for the whole thing. They're gonna have like a tube in your mouth to like basically just, help you breathe and all that stuff. And if you wake up with a sore throat, well, it's because there was a tube down your throat, okay? But in, like I said, worst case scenarios, that when they got to get the baby out ASAP, no Rocky, like, yeah, they're definitely going to put you under and do that as quickly as possible, okay? Now, that procedure usually doesn't take very long. From what I read online and from other women that I've talked to, that procedure generally takes less than 30 minutes to do, okay? So after they get the whole drape set up, your spinal block is all done, okay? After, you can't feel anything anymore and everything's all good to go, they make the incision right above your pubic line, okay? And they will cut into your uterus as well. There is a hose because they're going to start suctioning out all of the amniotic fluid, okay? And in that process, they literally just kind of pull the baby out, okay? It's a very, very, very quick process. It's the setup that usually takes the longest, okay? Once the baby is out, they'll cut the umbilical cord, placenta is removed, and you have absorbable stitches that are actually used to kind of like sew your uterus shut before they put it back in. Now, fun fact, they actually pull your whole uterus out in order to do that because it's still contracting. They don't stitch it up inside of you. They actually physically pull it out of your body. So that's a pretty cool thing, but it's also horrifying knowing that there are people that know what my uterus looks like when I don't even know what it looks like. So, all right. Once they stitch up your uterus and put that back in you, they're going to basically stitch up the outer incision. Now, I've heard that they can use stitches. For my hospital, they used a glue to basically seal it shut, and then they used tape to put it over, and then they bandaged the whole thing, okay? Now, the glue is basically like industrial strength. So, I mean, the way I was moving around afterward and all that stuff, I really thought it was going to come apart, but I was actually very surprised at how well it stayed together, okay? So, if they say that they're using glue and tape, I know it sounds real like ghetto, but just trust them, they know what they're doing, okay? So after that's all done, they're going to be giving you antibiotics, painkillers via IV, and you will be wheeled into the recovery room. All right, once you're there, for me, that's when they gave me my baby and I started breastfeeding. I hadn't eaten in 35 hours at that point, so they did bring me a Toiki sandwich with some milk. So I did have a little bit of that while I was breastfeeding. I felt bad because I'm like dropping crumbs all over my newborn and I'm like crying. So there's like tears and crumbs all over my newborn. But yeah, it was a very magical moment, okay? So after they take you to the recovery room, that's when the whole just uncomfortableness starts setting in because you're really gonna start feeling the pain. For me, I definitely started feeling it within an hour after they brought me into the recovery room. I mean, it was so difficult to really do anything and everything was so sore. The nurses will usually come in, okay? They are going to be checking your blood pressure, your heart rate, your breathing. They're going to be asking you how much are you bleeding, are there any blood clots, blah blah blah, asking you a lot of personal questions, and they're going to be doing that every few hours because obviously they want to make sure and monitor that everything is okay. You also really won't be able to sleep that often because you're going to be having a newborn crying over here while the nurses over here are coming in every couple hours again to check you, give you your medications, take the baby out to give the baby a bath, check the baby's weight, and they give you a chart, so start asking, did the baby poo, did the baby pee, did the baby eat, they come in to bring you food. So if any chance that you guys can to get rest in there, definitely rely on your partner to kind of help watch the baby while you guys get a lot of rest because it's going to be very difficult to move and you're going to be poked and prodded a lot, okay? So definitely be prepared for that. They are also going to be pushing on your stomach and it's going to hurt so bad, all right? But from what I read, they do that because they want to make sure everything comes out, including the placenta and stuff like that, because obviously they don't want anything in there that could basically infect you and kill you. So they are going to be pushing on you and it's going to be very uncomfortable, it's going to be very painful, but they're only going to do it for a little bit. I would ask for a belly binder, okay, which is very common post C-section, and basically it just kind of helps keep all your muscles together, and it kind of keeps your back together and everything, and it helps you walk. It helped me tremendously. So post C-section, ask them for a belly binder, okay? But yeah, okay, so you are still going to be bleeding a lot down there. Like, I mean, you're going to be bleeding a lot. Even though you didn't give a vaginal birth, obviously your body has to expel everything. So they're going to be asking you if you're going to be clotting. They're going to be asking how much you're going to be bleeding and stuff. They're going to give you these giant maxi pads that are like literally the size of like the Great Wall of China. Okay, so you're gonna have to wear that and everything. And they give you a lot of them, thank God, because you will want to change it very often. And they're going to make you walk as soon as possible post-surgery, because they do not want blood clots to form in your legs, and also because your legs are going to be very swollen, and you know, you have to move around. Okay, so they will help you walk if you can't do it on your own. I started walking 6 hours post-op because I just wanted to heal as quickly as possible. So I was just kind of doing a few laps around the room before I sat back down and everything. And it was probably the most painful thing I think I've ever experienced, but that's okay, all right? The day after, usually for me anyway, they came in and they will help you kind of wash up and shower. They have these wipes that they will help kind of clean you up and everything, because you're going to be a mess. Like, you're going to be a wreck. Just take the help. And it's a little embarrassing because they're going to see everything going on with you. But to be honest, just take the help, okay? Now, a couple of things that you guys are going to experience if you do have a C-section operation, because I know I experienced it to 1,000 degrees, okay, is basically a whole list of things that I'm going to be talking to you guys about, as well as giving you guys tips on how to kind of I guess counteract it and overcome these symptoms. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to experience is you're gonna have a lot of trouble walking. All right, for me, I know every time I got up I was really hunched over and everything, because I felt like, I'm just gonna be honest, I felt like my guts were basically going to just spill out of my stomach and everything. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of trouble walking. You're gonna be taking slow, very steady steps. You're basically gonna be walking like you're 87 years old. All right, because everything is just going to hurt. All right, it's gonna feel like you can't walk, but in all honesty, I would definitely recommend you walk, because like I said before, they're gonna push you to keep walking around, because it's gonna help prevent blood clots forming in your legs. All right, and it's gonna help pass bowel movements, because after you are out of surgery, for some reason you're gonna have a lot of trouble pooping. I'm just being straight up, okay? You're gonna have a lot of trouble pooping. So walking around kind of helps sort of like pass that along, okay? So just take it slow, take it one step at a time. If you have to take a couple breaks, that's fine, all right? Keep up on your meds and try to kind of time the times that you walk around with, after, you know, you start to feel better after taking said painkillers and everything, okay? And, you know, set alarms if you have to remind you to take your pain medication, because it helped me a lot when I got home to just set alarms every 8 hours to take my Tylenol, and then every 6 hours to take my Motrin, because when you have a newborn, obviously the day just escapes you, okay? Like, you're not really thinking about much. So definitely set alarms to kind of remind you, all right, hey, take your painkillers, okay? So then when you do that, it'll definitely help keep you walking around and everything, okay? The second thing you're going to experience, and it's going to suck so much, is a very, very, very sore abdomen or a sore core, okay? You really don't realize how much of your abdomen you really use when it comes to doing everyday tasks, okay? Like getting up out of bed, you're engaging your core, okay? When you laugh, when you cough, you know what I mean? Even sometimes when you just yell a little bit, like you're engaging your core. Like it's really astounding, you know, when you sit up, when you get up, when you sit down, you know, like you're going to feel every little muscle in your core just kind of tugging and pulling at you, because that's just how sore it is, okay? So when you guys are in the hospital, okay, if you didn't, make sure you ask them for something called a belly binder, Okay, they usually give it to you after C-sections. You can ask for it after a vaginal birth as well. And basically what it is it's a sort of tight wrap that they're gonna help you put around your stomach, and it's supposed to kind of help keep all your muscles and everything together. For me, it definitely helped when my baby's crying. And hubby's getting my baby. What a good hubby. Thank you, honey. But it definitely helped when it came to me walking around and everything too, because it just kept everything sort of tight and together. All right, so definitely ask for that if they haven't given it to you, and don't leave the hospital without it, because it's going to save your life. Okay, also invest in large maxi pads, okay, to kind of cover the incision. So for me, when I left the hospital, I was, I had sweatpants on and everything, and it was kind of tight against my incision, and it didn't feel very nice. The nurse told me that if you just take one of the maxi pads and just put it over your incision, it helps as a cushion against your underwear or against like your sweatpants, especially when you're sitting down. So I would definitely invest in bigger maxi pads, okay, to just kind of help push up against your incision, all right, in case it bleeds or anything like that. But like I said, it does act as a very nice cushion when you're wearing things and when you're moving around and stuff, all right. Also invest in a small pillow, all right, to hold against you when you do cough or when you do laugh. It helps so much. I can't even tell you how many times I really needed to cough, but obviously it was going to hurt everything. So when you hold a pillow really tight against your core and against your incision like that, it makes it easier for you to have to sneeze or have to cough or whatever it is that you guys have to do, okay? Number 3 that you're going to experience, at least for 2 weeks after you get out of the hospital, is you're going to have trouble moving your bowels, okay? AKA, you're going to have trouble taking a poop. So, all right, you may get hemorrhoids, because when you do feel like you have to poo, like, you're really going to feel like it's like right there, but it doesn't want to come out. So it might tempt you to push a little bit. I know I got really bad hemorrhoids because of like how bad I was contracting and everything, and then on top of it, it was difficult for me to pass a bowel movement afterwards. There are these hemorrhoid wipes that you can get on Amazon. They're called Tucks. All right, so it's a very cooling sort of pad that just helps ease the irritation of hemorrhoids, or you can get Preparation H, whatever you want, but definitely have something to help any sort of hemorrhoid issue that may develop down there. Okay, it's so cheap, it's like $5-6, but just have it handy just in case, because trust me when I say you're not gonna want to go outside after you give birth. Okay, so just have it on deck. All right, if you never use it, you could just gift it to somebody saying, here's some freaking hemorrhoid cream. All right, just deal with it. I don't know. All right, also, fiber supplements will help a lot, or just food with a lot of fiber to kind of help pass those bowel movements. So, if you want to get the supplement, definitely make sure you have that beforehand, or just eat very fiber-rich foods to kind of help pass those bowel movements along, all right? Number 4, you're gonna have urethra issues, okay? Because remember when I told you that they stuck a giant catheter up there? Well, now your urethra is gonna feel pretty sore, so it's gonna be on fire when you pee. Okay, when I had to go pee after my C-section, when I was finished peeing, it felt like my urethra wanted to push like everything out. So I just kind of felt my whole stomach like kind of jolt down a little bit, and it was really painful, and it was on fire. Okay, invest in a perennial witch hazel spray. Okay, now I got something, it was from Earth Mama. All right, and I'm gonna link all my items down below. It's from Earth Mama. It's a witch hazel spray. All right, just kind of spritz it down there. It's a nice cooling, sort of like feeling, and it just makes it feel 10 times better. Or you can opt to get the little like bottle that they give you at the hospital, fill it up with warm water. After you're done going to the bathroom, just spray it with warm water, and it'll feel 10 times better. Okay, try not to wipe with toilet paper if you can avoid it, because it's going to hurt a lot. Okay, like that friction is going to hurt a lot. Okay, so get the spray, get the bottle, but just make sure you're doing what you can to kind of help ease the pain down there. Number 5, you're going to get body aches like nobody's business. I know that you had the incision around your stomach, so it makes sense that, only your stomach hurts and everything, right? No, your whole body is gonna hurt. Your back, your shoulders, your arms, everything, okay? My blood pressure cuff was so tight, I had micro hemorrhaging in my arm, okay? Like there were red dots all over my arm, and it just hurt so bad. The pain radiated all throughout my back. My incision hurt, my core hurt, my boobies hurt because they're making milk. You know, the spinal tap had caused my legs to swell, so that hurt. My feet were killing me, all right? In order to combat that, you can't really take baths because you can't submerge your scar, but take hot showers. It's going to feel so good against your back. I mean, I remember when I took my first hot shower after a C-section, it felt so good. I was basically moaning like I was having sex in the shower, okay? It just felt so good on my body. I was in there for probably like 25 minutes. Like my hubby's knocking on the door like, are you good? Like, are you fine? I'm just like, get out of here. Just get out of here. All right, don't look at me. But it's going to feel so good. So don't feel ashamed about, you know, having to take hot showers, all right? The hospital is going to give you something called HCG wipes. It's sort of like an antibacterial wipe that prevents bacteria growing on your incision for up to 6 hours. Before you leave the hospital, make sure you ask for a lot of those. Just be like, hello, give me as many of these as you can, because every time you shower, when you get out, you're gonna want to do one clean wipe across your incision to ensure that it doesn't get infected or anything like that, okay? So if you have to take a couple showers throughout the day to help your body aches, you're gonna want to make sure you're stocked up on those HCG wipes. So make sure you ask your nurse to give you as many as possible, okay? Another thing that can help your body aches, okay, is after maybe a week or so, when you can lay down in a bath for a little bit, try not to submerge your incision, but for me it helped to have Epsom salts in a very, very shallow bath, and I just laid in it. My incision was still above water, but it helped my shoulders and my back tremendously, okay? So, you know, shallow bath with some Epsom salts will definitely help a lot of aches in the back area, all right? Number 6, you're gonna get a lot of swelling, okay? My nurse said it was because of the spinal block that everything was basically swollen. I mean, like almost everything post-op, okay? Get bigger shoes, all right? Just go to Walmart or wherever and just order just cheap, sort of like whatever shoes, 2 sizes bigger than what you actually are, because you are going to need them. I brought my biggest pair of shoes, which actually didn't even belong to me, it belonged to my sister, okay? My sister is a whole size and a half bigger than me, and I brought her Uggs, okay, because they're huge. And those did not fit my feet, okay? It just didn't, okay? So order something online. I would definitely say maybe something that you can wear outside, some sort of sandal or whatever, just sort of comfy, whatever, 2 sizes bigger, because you're gonna freaking need it. I mean, my feet swelled into Bigfoot feet, and I was so miserable wearing these shoes outside of the hospital because it was really pressing up on everything and it was so painful to walk, all right? So definitely just invest in it. I mean, worst case, wear your freaking hubby's shoes if you have to, okay? But just bring something way bigger, because trust me, you're going to want it, okay? Make sure you elevate your feet whenever you get a chance. Whenever you sleep, whenever you're sitting down, elevate your feet to kind of alleviate the swelling down there, okay? Invest in a recliner if you can. If you know somebody that has a recliner, ask if you can borrow it for a couple weeks, because it's going to be so comfortable to sit in, okay? Also get a lot of pillows if you can, because just sleeping on a bunch of pillows is so much more comfortable than just sleeping on your bed. You're gonna need a lot of soft items to just kind of like help keep around you, all right, to get comfortable and to be able to sleep. Another thing that helped me tremendously is on Amazon. I ordered a $20 little spa pedicure machine. Fill it with the coldest water, put some Epsom salts in there, and just let it run, all right? Because when your feet swell, they get hot, and it's going to help a lot when it comes to just alleviating pain and alleviating the swelling, especially if you have to walk around a lot like I did when I came home, okay? So just to recap, you know, a lot of pillows, get a recliner if you can, okay? And get a very cheap sort of spa pedicure bath machine thing that you can just order anywhere online, because it's going to help you so much, all right? Number 7, you're going to be getting a lot of vaginal bleeding and blood clots, okay? So my thing is And it sounds crazy. They're gonna give you giant maxi pads when you leave the hospital, but obviously maxi pads move around a lot. My suggestion to you is to just get adult diapers, okay? I know it sounds ridiculous, but trust me, nobody's even gonna see them. You can wear leggings and stuff over them and no one's gonna know you're wearing them, but it literally catches everything, because sometimes you're gonna be bleeding so much and sometimes you're gonna be letting out all these clots that like it's just wild. Like the maxi pad probably isn't even gonna help, and it's just gonna get everywhere. So get adult diapers, okay? Always, the brand has discreet underwear. It's like these maxi pad underwear. You just put it on. When you're done, you just throw it off, throw it away, put a new one on, and it is a godsend. Like, it is a lifesaver, especially to sleep in, because nothing gets out. Everything gets caught on the underwear, okay? And they are a little pricey, but if you go to your local store, you can always find like the great value versions of that stuff, okay? So invest in adult diapers. Number 8, you're going to get chills and hot flashes. It happened to me a lot where you get really, really cold and then you get hot flashes, okay? So depending on whatever season you give birth, make sure you have hot clothes and make sure you have cold clothes on hand, okay? It did help me a lot to have a heating pad as well as having a fan near me, okay? So whatever I was feeling, it was easy for me to just turn the fan on. If I got cold, I just turn the heating pad on. I could throw on a sweater, or I have a tank top, whatever it is. Just keep a few clothing items for each season out, okay? And just make sure you have something to kind of help you battle that, because you might get it real bad the way I did, especially at nighttime, okay? But it's going to help you a lot. Number 9, you're going to get headaches. Really bad headaches sometimes, okay? Make sure you're staying hydrated, and you got to drink plenty of water. When you do get the headaches, make sure you take some time to just lay down and relax, okay? Take your painkillers as needed, your Tylenol, your Motrin, all right? Massage like the back of your head and things like that, and get like a cool compress, okay? So maybe like a small ice pack or something to hold against your head or the back of your neck, but just make sure you're definitely staying hydrated, okay? Number 10, you're going to be itchy sometimes, all right? It doesn't happen with all women, but I know for me, I got extremely itchy after my C-section. I don't know why I was so itchy, but I was going crazy. Like, I felt like I was gonna like scratch my chest open, especially. So definitely keep some I had hydrocortisone cream, thank God, in my drawers over here, because of my, I get bit by mosquitoes a lot. I don't know why. But anyway, the hydrocortisone cream definitely helped a lot, okay? Make sure you're lotioning up whenever you get out of the showers and stuff. Try not to get dry skin, okay, to help combat like the whole itchiness and everything. But definitely invest in hydrocortisone cream, because it will definitely help combat severe itchiness in certain spots, all right? And then last but not least, number 11, you're going to be experiencing nausea. All right. You might experience loss of appetite like I did. You might just feel lightheaded. You might feel sick. Make sure you make sure you stock up on some crackers and some soup, okay? That definitely helped me a lot. Again, stay hydrated with tons of water if you can, maybe some Gatorade, all right? And then just snack on like some crackers, maybe like anything carby, if you can just eat a little bit of rice or some pastas. Just to kind of keep your energy levels up. It's definitely going to help tremendously. If you can get some soup, try to keep that down a little bit, just get easy to eat foods, definitely carby type of stuff to definitely, help keep everything going, because you're losing a lot of energy, obviously, after you give birth and everything. So, just keep snacky foods. And yeah, that's basically it. So, if you do end up having a C-section, it's not as scary as you think, all right? Now, for me, it was definitely nerve-wracking when I first heard about it, but overall, when I kind of go back and think about the whole experience, it really was not as bad, especially now that I am a little over 2 weeks postpartum and I can move around and I feel way better and I definitely feel more like myself again. I would definitely do it again in the future if I had to, if I have more kids and everything like that, all right? So that's basically all you can expect from a C-section procedure. Those are all the symptoms you may experience, and those are my tips to kind of help you guys recover as quickly as possible. So good luck to you ladies who are probably going to end up getting a C-section. Good luck even through a vaginal birth, and I pray for healthy safe deliveries for all of you guys. All right, and I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry I ramble so much, but make sure you follow me on my Instagram and my Snapchat, and I will see you guys next time. Mwah!